Hey there, YouTube. Welcome to Monday's edition of The Breakfast Club. Got that funk here. Thanks for joining me. I promised James Fussell in the comment section of my video last week that if I ever watched any Milo Yiannopoulos videos that I would make a video commenting on my thoughts about Milo and the things that he says. And as most people watching this video are probably aware, Milo just happened to be on Real Time with Bill Maher on Friday night. And I'm a regular viewer of Bill Maher. Therefore, I was going to watch it. I wasn't certainly inclined to avoid watching it just because Milo was going to be on it. Why would I do that? I've never seen Milo speak before, which has been deliberate on my part. When people make a fuss about someone, which people have been making a fuss about Milo since well before he got kicked off of Twitter, I just figured I'd run across him someday and I wasn't going to go out of my way to do so. My sort of auto nonconformist kicks in and I'm just like, yeah, well, whatever, I'm sure I'll find out sooner or later. And that's exactly what happened. So when he was on Bill Maher, of course I was going to watch. And based on having watched him on Bill Maher, I decided, yes, James, I'm going to make you a video, which meant, of course, that I had to spend most of Sunday watching other Milo Yiannopoulos interviews and videos to make sure that I had a better idea of where Milo was coming from, how consistent his message was, etc., etc. And then today, before I made this video, after I come home, I noticed a few of my friends had made videos about Milo. Kazoom, Joe on The Breakfast Club, obviously yesterday made a video, and my friend Richard Coughlan made a brilliant video called Milo versus Words, which I'm going to link in the description box below, and I highly recommend that you watch it. I agree emphatically with every single sentiment in that video. I wish I made it myself, and it's like 10 or 12 minutes or whatever, but it's well worth watching. Anyway, so my own opinion about Milo is pretty much Milo's opinion about Milo, at least how he expressed it to Bill Maher and also to Dave Rubin and others that I've seen. He refers to himself repeatedly as a virtuous troll and as a provocateur. I've seen him use both those terms several times in various different interviews. And James, quite frankly, mate, I'm just not impressed by trolls. I've never been impressed by trolling. I don't think it's virtuous in any sense, and I'll get to that in a minute. But anybody can be a dick. That's not hard. You don't need a lot of job experience for that. You don't even need a dick to be a dick, right? So that's one thing. But this idea about Milo, he wants to be considered a virtuous troll. What the fuck is the virtue in being a troll? Please illuminate me. Going around deliberately trying to provoke a hostile reaction to either offend, upset, or piss people off. Like I say, that's pretty fucking easy. It doesn't impress me at all. Whether or not someone does that to make a living, which people like Milo Yiannopoulos or Ann Coulter or Rush Limbaugh have excelled in doing. Milo obviously is more at the beginning of his career than the other two. But it's an old, I would call it a genre. It's like outrage merchants, right? And Milo Yiannopoulos has just happened to have found a quite unique and specific niche in that genre. And Milo has something in common with people like Ann Coulter. There's a reason Rush Limbaugh's on radio. He's not an attractive guy. Ann Coulter and Milo Yiannopoulos, on the other hand, very telegenic people. Whether you like them or not, you have to grant that. They look good on TV, right? And both of them are extremely articulate and clearly very intelligent. And certainly in Milo's case, if not Ann's, they've got a certain level of charisma, which, whether people like to admit it or not, probably does make some people more receptive to their message. So that's kind of what I think about Milo as a person in terms of my impressions of Milo, having watched him on several different interviews. Whether it was Bill Maher or on Dave Rubin, both those interviews that I watched, this isn't really a judgment, but it kind of looked to me like Milo's on coke, just saying. Anyway, regardless of that, what do I think about the things that Milo was saying in the various different interviews that I've watched over this weekend? Well, I'm not, like I say, I'm not really impressed by trolls. It doesn't really work on me so much. I see a bullshit argument, I go, well, that's bullshit. It doesn't really piss me off or offend me, hardly ever. I'm just like, come on, dude, you can do better than that. And especially, like, I used to say the same thing about Ann Coulter all the time. I mean, she's clearly an intelligent person, and sometimes it baffles me to consider that she might actually believe the things that she says, because she seems smart enough to know better. I mean, she seems to be able to reason properly. So why does she come to these, outrageous conclusions? And I feel similarly about Milo. I think he seems to be, he's clearly articulate and intelligent, and I think he just calculates and has an awful lot of experience and practice in learning how to push people's buttons and piss people off. And therefore, that coupled with the fact that this has now become how Milo is making his living, makes me extremely cynical about everything that he says. I don't necessarily think he believes any of the shit that he says. And if Milo and Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh and people of that sort of ilk have any function in the broader scheme of things as outrage merchants, it is their function to sort of drive the Overton window further and further and further to the right, and to keep it over there, to keep us talking about all this kind of bullshit. And in Milo's case, his niche has partly been to try to point out the bullshit in the far, far left, some of his points might have some merit on some level about that particular issue. However, there's a quote from Babylon 5 that comes to mind. Always plant a lie inside the truth because it makes it easier to swallow. And I think people like Milo are very well versed in how to do that exactly. They say an awful lot of stuff that you're going, yeah, I can see that, yeah, I can see that. And then they say the zinger, which is outrageous, and you've already been going along with them for so long that they've managed to link it up, and it seems almost to make sense, or maybe not make sense, but it doesn't seem like a non sequitur when it is. So I think he's very good at that, and I think you can't bullshit a bullshitter. If you can spot bullshit, I don't think it necessarily gets passed. But I don't think everybody does spot bullshit. I think people, have certain narratives that they subscribe to, and whenever they hear someone reaffirming their narrative or coming close to it, that they sort of latch onto that and go, oh yeah, this guy's cool. And I think there's an awful lot of that behind Milo's rise to stardom now. There's no question about it. He's going to be a significant celebrity for some time. That's my opinion. I want to echo some of the things Joe said in his video yesterday, though. You don't want. I seriously doubt I'll be watching very much Milo or making further videos about Milo, because my philosophy is you don't feed the troll. Occasionally, I will try to out-troll a troll. And I don't troll people who aren't being trolls. I don't find trolling to be at all interesting or fun. And I'm kind of bothered by the fact that whereas, when I first started on YouTube back in late 2008, early 2009, holy shit! Today is my YouTube birthday for my Got That Funk channel. I didn't even realize that. Anyway, sorry, slight distraction there. But when I first started making videos, what is it now, 8 years ago? Yeah, I thought trolls were scum, and I didn't really, and most people did. Trolling was like basically internet vermin, and now it's been elevated to some sort of spectator sport. And I think that's unfortunate, and I don't think it really helps anybody on the internet, except for the trolls. And it's gotten to the point now where internet trolls have managed to parlay their shtick into international infamy, aka Milo Yiannopoulos. There you go, James. I hope you liked this video, and everybody, I would like to engage you in a vigorous discussion in the comments section of thoughts about what I've said and what I didn't say. Please let me know down below. Sister Danger should be here for tomorrow's video on The Breakfast Club. I'll be back again next Monday. Thanks for watching. May all your ups and downs be ups.